I will be doing a quick review on the Russian Tier 8 Heavy, the IS-3. Before I get to the stats, I will do an exterior look at the tank to tell you the strengths and the weaknesses of this vehicle. Let's get to that now. The armor on this vehicle, it is good news and bad news. Sorry. The front part of the armor, it is pre-angled. You see the pike nose. You don't have to angle the armor there at all. If you just the best way to use this armor, it is to face the enemy and have the pike nose face the enemy. You can technically angle the armor to the left or to the right, but if you angle, let's say, the right plate here to the enemy more, it will make the right angle plate more angled, but it will weaken the armor thickness on the other side. If you have the chance, you can shoot the lower glacis plate here to pen it with ease there. From the front here, do not try to aim at the observation point here or the holes in front where the machine gun in the turret is, and this hole right next to the gun. The turret armor, it is pretty easy to ricochet in the front. Except the only place that you can actually pen this vehicle in the front, if you do have the height advantage, is you can actually pen this plate here. If you pen the top part of this tank, the armor here is like 60 millimeters of armor maximum, so you can pen that part of the turret with ease if you can pen that, if you have the height advantage. The vehicle tracks can be knocked out pretty easily. The side armor, it is a mix of good news and bad news. It is angled, which is very good. The armor is made up of solid and also space armor, so not a precise shot that does not have enough pen to go through the upper part of the side armor will just ricochet. If you try to penetrate the IS-3 from the side, try to shoot in between the road wheels in the whole area. The vehicle, it is off the ground a bit, so your shells may just be able to go through the wheels, miss, or just damage the tracks. Which is a good thing for the IS-3, because for such a low accelerated vehicle, this is the IS line have a good amount of space they are off the ground. The back here, it is you can pin that with ease, but you may be lucky to get a lucky ricochet from time to time in the back here, but don't count on your back armor here giving you ricochets. The turret armor, it is pretty tough from the front, but when you get to the side, it's still pretty tough to pen. And the rear, it is 100 millimeters of armor. From the side and the rear, you should be able to pen the side and the rear of the turret with ease. If the turret is moving, and with a angle factor added on top, you can get a ricochet on the turret though. The best spot to penetrate from the front is this angled plate here in the front if you have the height advantage. Also the observation points here can be damaged quite easily if you can hit that. But from the front, those points are pretty small and hard to hit. The weaknesses for this vehicle. What I have noticed so far is if you have a well-placed shot from the front here, to the right or to the left side here, you can actually kill the driver, the loader, and also ammo rack the vehicle. This vehicle, when I was playing through it, I got ammo racked quite a lot, so it's always handy to have a first aid kit to get the loader back into action. You do not want to have a damaged loader, or else your loading time with my current setup, the average shot is like around 11 seconds, but with the damaged loader and also ammo racked, the loading time is like 22 seconds plus, pretty painfully so, which I actually show in a replay. This vehicle, it can be set on fire if you hit the engine compartment in the back here. With the exterior look taken care of, let's get to the stats of the IS-3. Before I get to the stats of the vehicle, I like to add in that the gun depression, it is -5 degrees, while the gun elevation is positive 23 degrees. The depression, it could be worse, it could be better. The gun elevation, it is pretty good, but you may have problems if you're trying to hit anyone that requires you to have more than 23 degrees of gun elevation. The maximum hit points you can have on the vehicle, it is 1500. The maximum load that you can have on the IS-3 with the upgraded tracks, it is close to 54 tons, just 0.1 ton short of making it exactly 54 tons. My current setup offers me 49.8 tons. This vehicle is, with all the equipment on this vehicle and have a proper setup, this is a pretty fast Tier 8 heavy to use, as you will see in the replays. The best engine, you will have 700 horsepower with a 12% being set on fire. The top speed with a good crew, flat terrain, you can actually hit the 38-kilometer mark pretty quickly, as long as you don't hit any rough terrain or obstacles. The horsepower to ton ratio, it could be better, it could be worse. My current horsepower to ton ratio for my current setup, it is 14 horsepower to 1 ton. The whole traverse, it is okay. It could be better. It is 30 degrees. The armor, this is a it is quite good for the whole armor. The front armor, the thick part of the armor, it is the pike node area. The observation point here have it's pretty thick for armor. You can pin that still if your gun can pin it, but try to pin the angled armor here if your gun can pin it. The side, it is a mix of good news, bad news. The side armor for the upper plate, it is made up of space and solid armor. The middle of the chassis, it is just made up of flat armor. Just remember to aim between the wheels and underneath the track or just above the track to get your shots to hit the chassis there. And you may from time to time get your shell to go between the vehicle wheels or just damage the track, which can be a problem. So having a large repair kit or toolbox is not a bad idea if you're trying to repair the tracks faster. And then the armor in the rear, it is not that bad, but it's bad, but it could be worse. It is at least angled, but with 60mm in the rear, you can be pen with these back here when it comes to the engine deck. The turret, it is all angled all around, even the rear. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can pen this part of the tank from the front with these. The front armor for the turret is about 249, but that is with angling added on. The side armor, it is 172, but that is with angle armor not added on. And then the rear, it is 100mm of armor, but that is not with angled armor added on as well. Overall, the turret is pretty well armored, especially the hull. You can survive a lot of hits if you use the armor properly and use the turret to your full advantage. The guns, when you get to the top gun, it is quite good. The turret rotation, it is not that good, but it could be worse. It is at 26 degrees. The base view range for the top view range for the top turret, it is 350. You can use binocs or coated optics if you want onto this tank if you want to, but I would not recommend it. This is more of a broader type, so the binocular telescopes or the coated optics would be a waste of a module space, but you can use them if you want to. The radio range, you will still have to be using inferior Russian radios still, but around tier 7, tier 8, you begin to get somewhat decent good radios. The top radio offered you 730 meters radio range. That is acceptable, but the radios do get slightly a little bit better for the Russians as you go up in tiers. With the stats taken care of, let's get to the pros and the cons for this vehicle. The pros and the cons for this vehicle, as this is a tier 8 vehicle, you can actually get yourself into tier 10 matches. Most of the time when I was playing through the IS-3, I got myself into mostly tier 9 and 10 matches when I was using the stock and mid guns before I get to the top gun on this vehicle. It is not a bad idea to use premium ammo when you get into tier 9 and 10 matches. The way how you would play this tank, you would play this as a frontline battle tank. You have to get up close and personal to cover all of your weak spots of the armor. From a distance, vehicles with sufficient pen can pen you with ease from a distance. But if you get up close and personal, you can nullify all those inferior Russian qualities and make this as a good brawler vehicle. I mostly have a lot of success when I was playing this as a frontline brawler tank. You can play this as a support, as a flanking vehicle, and the last one, which I do not highly recommend, but you can technically do it if you really wanted to. You can play this vehicle as a sniper if you want to, with the Top Gun, the 122mm BL9 gun. You have 0.40 accuracy, which is pretty good for a Russian heavy accuracy at tier 8 for this gun. The other 122mm, as you go up in tiers, do get slightly little bit better when it comes to accuracy. If you must, you can snipe from a distance with this gun, but most of the time you're not going to hit your target. This gun, it is meant for a close-up brawling type to give a nice 1-2-3 punch to knock the enemy tank out quickly. Which is angled, a good speed, and a good gun. The vehicle, when it comes to the Top Gun, you have very good pen for the AP and the APCR when you're in tier 9 to tier 10 matches still. This BL9 gun, when you get to be facing tier 9 and 10, it is quite a compatible gun with sufficient pen still that can pen well-armored tier 9 and 10s with ease if you know where to aim at. This vehicle have a low silhouette, which is a good news, bad news. The low silhouette for the vehicle, it is a good news, bad news story because, well, you can be pen on the top part of the tank if, let's say, a Tiger 2 or a Moz or anything bigger than the IS-3 can use their height of their turret and the hull to aim at this spot of the tank. If you use the side armor properly, you can actually soak up a lot of damage. Most of the damage, if side armor is used properly, you can actually get your track damage and take no damage in return. But this requires some practice in the first place to know how to use the IS-3 side armor properly. The armor is pre-angled in the front as I mentioned it. So some of the cons for the vehicle. With pre-angled armor, if you try to angle the armor one way, you will make one side of the pike nose more thicker, while make the other side a little bit more weaker when it comes to armor thickness. So just be careful about that. As I mentioned, the turret top of the turret is quite thinly armored, so be careful of that if you are facing very big vehicles such as the Tiger II or the mod Close-Up and Personal. Try to keep the turret moving all the time. This will at least give enemy tanks trying to hit your top of the turret or weak spots on the turret a harder time to hit, and you may actually get more ricochet that way. This vehicle, as I mentioned, it can be ammo racked quite easily. The loader and the driver can be knocked out quite quickly if a well-placed shot hit them in the front. While with the pros and the cons taken care of, I made some side notes when I was playing this IS-3. This IS-3, when it's fully upgraded, is a very good. I cannot speak today. This IS-3, when it's top tier and fully upgraded, it's wreck everything in its sight if it's used properly. This IS-3, when it's fully upgraded, it's a good tier 8 heavy to use if you like mobility, the armor, and a good gun. I am in my replays when I was playing this tank, not in this review, I got in a lot of steel walls in this vehicle. This tank, when it's fully upgraded with a good crew, it is a good tank to use just in a stronghold, team battles, or any tournament that require you to use a tier 8 vehicle that you're good with. With the pros and the cons taken care of, let's get to the research part of this vehicle. The IS-3, the researching of this vehicle, it's a straightforward thing. It is mostly a good thing. If you have been playing other Russian vehicles that use some of this equipment, then you will have most of this equipment unlocked right away. If you came from the Russian heavy line through the IS to the IS-3, then you will have most of the equipment unlocked already. The thing that you have to unlock on this tank is the upgraded tracks, the top radio, the top turret, and the top gun. The way how I went about researching this vehicle, I first used, you can use the 100mm gun if you want to. It have good enough damage with somewhat lackluster pen at times. While the other gun that you can use is the 122mm D25T gun. This gun suffers some pen problems, but it's pretty much have the exact same average AP. The only difference between the two is the premium pen is different and the HE pen is different. The damage is different on both of the vehicles, as one is a 100mm and one is a 122mm gun. Both of them use the same ammo types pretty much. You can use either of these two guns to use to research the modules on this tank. Me personally, I sticked with the 122mm gun as I got used to this gun on the IS, and all the Russian heavies from this point forward use improved version of the improved version of the 122mm gun. So it's a good time as ever to get used to using these 122mm guns now. The top gun, it is a 122mm gun. The way how I went about researching this vehicle, I would get the upgraded tracks, then I was either the 100mm or the 122mm gun. I researched the top gun. The top gun is cost you 44,000 EXP to research, but it's totally worth it because this gun, it is compatible in TL 9 and 10 matches when you use regular AP or premium rounds. The 100mm D10, D10T, and the 100mm D25T, they are not exactly competitive when it comes to tier 9 and 10 matches. You will be using the BL9 gun for the rest of the vehicle grind to get the upgraded radio and the turret. The stock turret, it is good still, but you don't exactly have the armor thickness as the top turret offered you. The only improvement in the armor for the two turrets is in the front and the side. Technically lose 3mm of armor, but that's no problem whatsoever. And you also got a bit of a view range enhancer as well. There's a minor traverse speed loss there, but it's only 2 degrees. From that point forward, when you have everything researched, you will be getting the needed 165,000 to unlock the tier 9, the IS-8. This vehicle is good to use once you have gotten used to it. This heavy is not exactly like the IS-3, but in the correct hands, the IS-3 and the IS-8 are both good vehicles, but I will talk about that another day. You will be needing 165,000 EXP to research this vehicle, and when this vehicle is not on a discount, you can get this vehicle when it's full price at 3.5 million and 31,000 credits. But currently with the Christmas break going on, or Christmas being around the corner soon, you can buy this tank for 3,001,350 credits right now. You can transfer all the crew from the IS to the IS-8 and work on the crew that way. With that taken care of, get to the next part of this review. When you do get this vehicle, at first, put your desirable gun to use and all the best equipment that you have unlocked on this vehicle so far. When you are going to be using the IS-3 with the BL9 gun. The consumables I use. This is a standard setup I have. First aid kit, repair kit, and fire extinguisher. The small first aid kit I mainly use this on my driver and loader because they get knocked out pretty easily, and it's useful to get the remaining crew members, if they're injured, back into action. The small repair kit, I use this mainly to fix my ammo rack, the gun, and the turret. You can use it if you must on the tracks to get out of a dangerous spot, but try to save the repair kit for a priority module that you need to get repaired right away. And the manual fire extinguisher, just to put out those pesky little fires. You can put a automatic fire extinguisher if you want to, but I prefer a manual fire extinguisher. The ammo layout that I use throughout the IS-3, I use mostly AP and APCR. You can use HE if you want to, but it is personal preference there. The module that I use on this vehicle, which enhance the turret and the gun mostly, it is the vertical stabilizer, plus 20% to accuracy during movement and turret rotation, enhanced gun lane drive to decrease my aiming speed, and the large caliber tank gun rammer to put the loading speed down a little bit and sort of increase my rate of fire a little bit. I find that all heavy tanks and any vehicle that have a big gun that have a long loading time, like the IS-3, the 30, and etc., always should have a large caliber tank gun rammer, just to decrease the loading time even more. Some of the other modules that you can use if you want to: binocular telescopes and coated optics are personal preference if you want to, but I don't really recommend them because this is a Russian frontline heavy that meant to get in to the nitty-gritty of the front line to flank and just shoot the 122mm BO9 gun to give other people a bad day. The torsion bar is not a bad idea to improve the track's durability and increase the load capacity and the suspension durability, but it's a personal preference. I do not use this thing, but you can if you want to. Heavy spall liner, not a bad idea to use. This improves your armor protection against ramming and HE rounds, and also improve your crew protection by 30%. Not a bad idea, but I don't personally use this. Toolbox to get your repairs done faster. You can use this if you want to, which I actually would recommend if you want to. And the improved ventilation class 3. These vents improve your crew performance by 5% and overall improve your tank performance as well. With that taken care of, one important skill which I don't really have on my IS-3 right now, but on my other TDs and heavy vehicles which I am using currently, I have repairs on every single crew member right there, because heavies can be tracked quite easily. So the less time that you are tracked, and the faster the repair bill, the faster the repair speed. I cannot speak today. If you have all repair skills, your tracks and modules can be fixed faster, so you can be on the road that much faster. Let's get to the 3 replays in the IS-3 of mine to show you how good I did in the IS-3. Let's get to them now. I am in a platoon with 2 of my clan members, Scout and Mini Turk. First thing that I noticed when I got into this match, I saw 4 AMX 5100s. If those 4 AMX 5100s work together to try to cover each other while they are loading, then that can be a problem for our team if they work together properly. By now I am just poking out quickly to see if there are any tanks in the middle road there. I am just double checking the road. It is safe to cross. I don't want to get hit from either side. Seeing the path is clear, I began to move forwards. That T-43, he's going to be killed by the people on the south part of the city. This is a good time as ever to show you how easily the IS-3 can get ammo whacked. You see the scratch mark by the headlight. That's spotted on the tank. You can be shot at and be ammo whacked quite easily. I used a repair kit to fix my ammo rack. You don't really want to know what the loading time in the IS-3 when you have a dead loader, any ammo, and been ammo racked. The loading time is quite long and quite painful to watch when you have like a 20+ second loading time. Right now, the people in the city are being flanked. If the AMX 50 in the middle there destroyed the IS-3 and the T-37, this match could be turned around for the other team. I missed my shot on the T-69. I got back into cover for the rest of my loading time. I turned here to get the shot on the AMX here. Scout there, he got the kill on the AMX there. I did pretty good in this match for damage. I did 1,739 damage. This is about average how much damage I actually do in the IS-3 when I have a good game. Let's get to the other two replays now to show you how I use the IS-3 in a platoon. This 3 platoon with the Mighty Tsar and Mini Turk. This replay will show you how good a IS-3 can be when you have a platoon of them, when you have a good map with favorable matchmaking for the IS-3. I didn't get a good clear shot on the AMX there. I'm trying to get a good shot on him. Got a last shot on him. This is where the rest of the team comes up to this frontier. A leopard Archam and the IS came up here to join their little friends. If you use the IS-3 armor correctly, you can actually take a lot of hits and manage to get a steel wall if you survive the entire match. Then again, it's a little bit easier to get a steel wall when you're in a heavy tank or a heavily armored vehicle. This IS-3, he's trying to retreat. I got a shot on him. This RHM, knowing what his fate is going to be, he tried to escape from his fate of being killed by us. So far, we are doing pretty good. Most of their team have been decimated. We have gotten this entire front taken care of, and now have to focus on the 1 to 3 line now. The IS-3, when you're on a mostly flat map like this, you can actually get to your top speed pretty quickly, as this is a between a medium to heavy Russian heavy. If in a hurry, this replay can show you that the IS-3 can actually get to the other side of the map quite quickly. The enemy is trying to even the score now. The Jackson and the Low want to come to give us some more three EXP apparently. Seeing the area, I tried to see if I could get a shot on him. I could not, as it was blocking my view. This slow heal, I managed to get some shots on that low. The scoutings are doing what scouts do best. They are circling one of the SUs and killing it. Now they're coming for the cap area or to flank us. By now, looking at the map right here, if we are not reset quickly, we are going to win by capping. Star seeing what happened to RD up there. He went up there by himself to handle the Hellcat that should be up there still, and the T-3485. With everything handled up here, we try to go onto cap while Tsar reset the cap. Unfortunately, Tsar could not get to our base in time to take a shot to reset. This match, me, Tsar, and Miniturk, we did pretty good for damage, and we got into the top 5 damage on our team. I did pretty good as well when it comes to damage. I did almost 2,300 damage. Let's get to the next replay now. Me, Tsar, and Mini again in a IS-3 platoon on the same map, but we begin on the other side of the map. We are using the same plan as last video to get to this side of the map and have the upper hand here. This KV-5 here in the open that just got fired at. Me, my platoon, and people behind me focus fire on the KV-5. This replay will also show you how long the loading time can be when you have a damaged ammo rack. This IS-3 here, me and Tsar, we pushed the IS-3. I just checked to make sure that nothing could hit me as I went down. I got hit by the A44 there. I ammo whacked him, and the A44 ammo whacked me. The loading time when this thing is ammo whacked, it is for me 22 and some odd seconds. With the damage loader, it would be longer than that. I wish I didn't use my repair kit. 23 seconds to be precise. The damage ammo racked when it's added to the loading time. This T-32, us three, we are rushing it right now. I did get a shot on his side. Seeing where their team is, besides the Super Pershing, they are in the C2 and 3 area. After taking care of the Super Pershing there, we moved towards the C2-3 area to get the remaining kills if we can. By now we have almost weather and arms between us three. Me and the Mizar have 2 kills while Mini Turk have 3. At this rate, I am not going to get the weather in arms medal because my loading time and how far I am away from the enemy tanks there. Zar here, he does manage to get another kill to make his total amount of kills to 3. This replay I did pretty good in. I did about 2,300 damage. This match, me, Zar, and Mini Turk, we got into the top 5 damage dealers on our team, which is pretty good for us all. Let's get to the garage to do a recap on the IS-3. Let's do a brief recap on the IS-3. This tank have a good gun, good armor, good speed, and it can be an easy tank to learn how to use it properly if you know how to use it properly in the first place. You have to remember that this tank, you cannot angle the armor unlike other heavies or mediums in the first place. This IS-3 have pre-angled armor. So if you angle the armor to the right or to the left, the one side have thicker armor while the other side have weaker armor. So just remember that if you're angling to the left or to the right when you're using this pike nose armor. Also, the pike nose, once you get used to the pike nose armor, this armor also transferred over into the IS-7 and the IS-8 as well. This tank, you can do quite well in it if you know what you are doing in the first place. I've seen people in their IS-3s getting Ace Master tank badges with these, doing on average between 2,000 up to 6,000 damage with these. This tank, it is a good tier 8 to use when it comes to tier 8 matches maximum when it's fully upgraded, or when it's fully upgraded, it's rather quite a good tier 8 to use when it comes to strongholds, team battles, tournaments or just tier 8 maximum matches. Overall, I actually like this tank and planning to keep this tank permanently. I would highly recommend this tank for anyone that like heavy tanks that are easy to use once they learn how to use it in the first place. That offers you good armor, good gun, a top speed, and can put out the damage with ease. Overall, this is a good tier 8 to use. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the IS-3 and how to use it. Do subscribe to my channel if you do like my review. I do put up new content weekly. If you have any comments or ideas how to improve my videos even more, do please put your comment in the comment section of the videos. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.